Hello guys, today we're talking about Pokemon. But it won't be your typical Pokemon video, like your favorite Pokemon. It'll be optimizing the Pokemon. What Pokemon are best and what are the best Pokemon builds. So, today we'll be going over the first few Pokemon in Gen 1. Gen 1 is the most recognizable. We'll be doing other regions as well. But Gen 1 is the first because it's the most recognizable Pokemon. And I think everybody plays Gen 1 the most, because they released the most amount of games for it. Also, the stars will not be counted because they're not viable anywhere. There's a low male to female ratio. But today we'll be going over all these Pokemon down here, not Bulbasaur, or Ivysaur, or Venusaur. We'll be going over these Pokemon here, what I picked out, which are all found in Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee, Red and Blue, and Fire Red and Leaf Green. I won't be including any Pokemon that are found in the Johto games because those could get their own list by themselves because of how Route 1 could get its own list by itself because there's a lot more Pokemon in those games on Route 1 and that game. If we want to do Route 1, we'll be doing the Route 1 in that and the Johto games. Coming at bottom place is Caterpie. You would think Caterpie is the weakest Pokemon in the game. It has a base stat total of 195, and though I don't hate Caterpie or anything at all, I don't. Caterpie has pretty low speed and defense, or special defense. But special defense, there isn't really much special defenses here that are strong against Caterpie. Problem is, Caterpie's abysmal as one of the lower HP, has a more higher HP rates of 45. But the thing is, there's a lot of fire types in Route 1. The only it doesn't really stand a chance against any other Pokemon in the Route 1, due to having a base stat total of 195. It gets bodied by practically every other Pokemon, including its counterpart Weedle. Speaking of Weedle, Weedle's at detail. Weedle has all the same weaknesses as Caterpie. Caterpie is pretty weak, but Weedle is faster than Caterpie. Weedle also is a poison type, but therefore Weedle also has lower HP, but does have the poison type advantage, which means if a Pidgey tries to attack Weedle, it could poison the Pidgey and win. That's the only matchup I can see Weedle winning in. Caterpie has no good matchups in Route 1 at all. It will just have to be a herbivorous build. But at least Weedle can defend itself, unlike Caterpie. Next Pokemon is Rattata. Rattata is pretty much a speed build. Stealth is not really Rattata's concern, as it can run away from practically anything. Rattata is one of your stats, but the thing is, Rattata has pretty weak stats otherwise. A lower HP stat than both Weedle and Caterpie, and also its attack is pretty much the same as Weedle and Kakuna, the Weedle and Caterpie at 45. So Rattata isn't really doing much favors here. Rattata does have but Rattata can run away from most things. Rattata even has the runaway ability for crying out loud. I think it does, or it's yeah, it has runaway. Yeah, it has runaway for crying out loud as its ability. Next is Pidgey. Pidgey is a pretty standard Route 1 bird build. Pidgey and Rattata, no, Spearow is stronger than Pidgey, stat-wise, which makes Spearow high on the tier list, but we'll be talking about Pidgey. Pidgey is a pretty standard bird build. It has similar stats to Rattata, being a Route 1 Pokemon. Actually, it's 2 points behind Rattata, but Pidgey can body most of the lower bug-type Pokemon. It can't body Bellsprout or Artis due to those Pokemon being poison-type, but it does have a really great matchup against Caterpie and Weedle if Weedle can't defend itself. And even it has a decent matchup against Rattata, which, because Pidgey can fly away pretty easily. Pidgey has a lower speed, but it's more of an all-rounded Pokemon. Next up on the list, well, it's Pinky. Next up on the list is Spearow. Spearow is a bit more powerful than Pidgey. Spearow is faster than Pidgey. It has similar speed to Rattata, so that means Spearow will always outspeed Pidgey. But it is not much stronger. It lives in much more for areas, so Pidgey and Route 22, which is one of the early routes, and Pokemon Red and Blue, and Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee, and Firelight and Leaf Green, Route 2 as well, which is why Caterpie and Weedle are on this list. Not Pidgey, Spearow has higher stats than Pidgey as well overall, making Pidgey a bit more viable build than Spearow. No, Spearow being a bit more viable build than Pidgey. Coming at ATL is Bellsprout and Artis. These Pokemon are Pokemon that have AFK the whole game. These Pokemon are only found in one game, Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee. They're not found in any other games. They're pretty overpowered for Route 1 because nothing will really attack them. But there is one Pokemon that can probably beat them, and that's Nidoran, which is probably a plant eater to begin with. Both of these Pokemon body all these other Pokemon on the list. The only bad matchups, and you would think Weedle would have a good matchup due to being poison. But the thing is, poison resists itself, and Bug is super effective in grass. But the thing is, every other matchup is pretty much bad. Pidgey and Spearow will get poisoned because these Pokemon are poison type. Next is Mankey. And also, Rattata will not even stand a chance, and Caterpie will be bodied. They also have the highest stat total of any Route 1 Pokemon so far, of 300, which is higher than every Pokemon shown here. Let's go look at Bellsprout. Bellsprout has lower speed, but has higher attack and special attack. It is more of an attacker and special attacker. Artis, which is found much earlier in the Pokédex, is more of a special user, but can also use attacks as well pretty greatly. Also has very similar HP to Weedle and Caterpie. Meanwhile, Bellsprout has higher HP. Both of these Pokemon are ATO for the same reason. Next is Mankey. I was planning to put Mankey on the V tier, but Mankey is pretty powerful for a Route 1 Pokemon. It has an 80 space attack. The only Pokemon that can pose a threat are the early bird Pokemon. The early bird Pokemon are flying type, but that isn't concern for Mankey as monkeys and primates are usually plant eaters. And I don't think the early bird Pokemon really want to go after a Mankey. They'll probably go after Rattata or Caterpie, which they could body Caterpie pretty easily. Rattata could also be bodied by the early birds. Mankey could also have the intimidation debuff, can be used on both Spearow and Pidgey, which makes them scared of Mankey, and Mankey wins out on the top. S tier has got to be the Nidoran line. These Pokemon are pretty overpowered for a Route 1 Pokemon. Their stats may not be all that great, only being 275 and 273. But the thing is, they're pure poison types. So, basically, they can probably easily beat all these Pokemon here. The only Pokemon that will be a direct competitor, but the thing is, fire types resist poison types. So that means Mankey could probably will be poisoned. The only other Pokemon that could be a bad matchup is Weedle and Bellsprout and Artis. Most of these Pokemon down here would want to avoid, even Mankey would probably want to avoid Nidorans, as they could probably poison them back, especially Nidoran male, which could poison them back. There isn't really much stat differences between both. There are even stat differences between both genders. The male has less HP and the female has more HP, but the male is faster. These Pokemon are overall pretty great for Route 1, as the poison types, and most Pokemon beside even Bellsprout and Artis probably wouldn't stand a chance. Also, Nidoran also learns Double Kick pretty early, which means Double Kick can easily beat Primeape, as Primeape only won, no not Primeape, Mankey can only run Scratch at the beginning. So, Nidoran bodies the Mankey in the early game. And due to it being a poison type and having an ability that also being a poison type, does Nidoran have the ability poison? I think Nidoran has the ability poison point as well, which is pretty bad. But the game was about it also has poison point, which also if something hits it, can poison it. Bellsprout and Artis do not have that perk. Weedle does have poison sting, but it's also a pretty weak bug type. And also Nidoran can probably beat Weedle pretty easily, making Weedle D tier. And that's it for the Gen 1 Route 1 Pokemon tier list. Hope you enjoyed. Goodbye.